Hey, small group leaders. So when Shane and I were engaged, we did the amazing, awesome Christian thing to do. We got premarital counseling. And I showed up to our very first premarital counseling appointment so excited. This is what I thought. I thought, what could be more fun than talking about my relationship with Shane? This is going to be so wonderful. 60 minutes later, I was in a different position. I remember being at that first marriage appointment and thinking, the whole point of this is to make Shane and I fight. Like, what is he doing? Our counselor's name was Roy. I was like, Roy, we have a date set. Our family is coming to this wedding. Why are you trying to make us fight? And I remember appointment after appointment after appointment, every single time we came into that office and I dreaded coming in, his whole goal was to make us fight. It was to find the 1% of our relationship that was such a problem and just focus on that. And I remember thinking to myself, Roy, our relationship is great. It's fine. Like, sure, there's this 1% that maybe could be a problem one day, but 99% of it is great. Why are we focusing on the 1%? And I remember the awkward silence. I remember the painful ride homes as Shane and I were in the car. And I just remember the whole process being super, super discouraging until it hit me. Roy was a genius. Roy was a genius, and he knew that couples quit their marriage not because of the 99%. They quit their marriage because of the 1%. And his whole goal during marriage counseling was to help us find that 1% and know what it was before we got married, so that when we were married and that 1% came up, we actually had some strategies of how to cope with that and how to deal with that in our relationship. Roy was a genius. So why am I telling you this? No, we do not want you to be premarital counseling anyone in your group. I tell you this because for the next 6 weeks, your whole goal is going to be to get your students to fight. That's right. We want them to fight. Not with you, not with each other, not even necessarily with God. We want them to fight with themselves. It could be that the students in your group, 99% of their relationship with God is great, but I promise you, there's 1%. There's 1% that is a real problem. Inside every single student is the seed of a problem that one day could lead them to walk away from Jesus. And your goal in the next 6 weeks is to unearth that seed and help them to know how to fight, how to wrestle, how to ask the hard questions, how to find great answers, how to do the hard things so that when they hit that hard moment later on in their relationship with God, they will know what to do. When they meet that cute atheist boy, when they're sitting in class and a brilliant professor is saying things they've never heard about their faith, or perhaps when something super painful is going on in their life or the life of someone around them, they're going to know how to fight for their faith because they've already wrestled with that 1%. So here's what I can promise you. Your small group in the next 6 weeks is going to be very messy. And it is going to take every ounce of self-control and faith in Jesus when you start to see those seeds come up, that 1%, and you start to see your student really wrestle and grapple with the hard stuff. Everything in you is going to want to reach out and say, oh, no, just trust Jesus. We're just going to end our small group in some prayer. We're still going to believe in the Lord. That's what you're going to want to do. And I'm going to challenge you, don't save them. Don't save them from their struggles, because students that know how to fight will fight. When they hit that hard moment in their relationship with God, they will remember what it was to fight once and they will fight again. So just like a couple that's learned in premarital counseling how to fight well, when they hit a problem later in their marriage, they're not just going to call it quits because it gets too tough. They're going to fight it out. We want students to learn how to fight with themselves, fight with their faith. I promise you it's going to be really messy. It's going to be really hard watching your students go through this. But I encourage you with this. The best marriage counselors in the world are the ones who fought for their own marriage. Fight yourself these next 6 weeks. Find your 1%. Find that 1% that could one day lead you to walk away from God. Face that. Ask the hard questions. Wrestle yourself. Fight. And in so doing, you're going to be in a great position to help your student fight for their faith. I'm so excited for you guys. These next 6 weeks, the curriculum is going to raise those questions. It's going to help your students wrestle with the hard things. And I fully believe that on the other end of this series, we're going to see students who are so much more in love with Jesus because they've fought it out. They know their 1%. Now that 1% is submitted to God, just like the 99. So excited for you guys. Hope the first week of group gets off to a great start.